Nightly Musers, followers of the pod, faithful few and hopeful many. This is Anchor by Spotify. If you haven't heard about it, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. It's the very platform that allows me to give you what I give you on the nightly. So let me explain. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. And it gives you the ability to distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and so much more. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all, Anchor is totally FREE free. So here's where you come in. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. That is ANCHOR.fm to get started. Thank you very much. Peace. Here you go.
So what is it?
Just place it right here, like on your stomach.
Oh.
It's a little easier when you have not a flat stomach like me. Welcome to the Nightly Muse. I am your host, Tinayeshe, and I am with one of the bros.
Yes, sir.
Chase Preston. Introduce yourself to the pod.
Hey guys, I'm Chase Preston. I was Kennedy's favorite cell group member.
Wow.
Wow. Getting destroyed by these snowballs. But yeah, I've known Kennedy since I was in 6th grade. He was a mentor for me and just altogether a pretty great role model. I've gone to him for advice over the years, so yeah.
Oh, wow. I wasn't expecting the unsolicited love. I didn't pay him for this. This isn't an ad sponsorship. This was just straight from the heart affection. Shout out Lowfly, a.k.a. Mr. Buick. You know about that, right? Buick?
Yeah.
It's my guy. He made the theme music for this, so it's pretty exciting. Anyway, dude, I feel like I'm a little gun shy right now. Like, we just had like hours and hours of conversation, and I'm like, all right, where do we go? I feel like we have to start over. Okay.
For context, we were just talking for the past 4 hours about anything and everything. And so we finally decided to break out the podcast, and now we have nothing.
And I'm so bad about dude, it's funny because I feel like my relationships have turned into we'll have conversations and then I'm like, oh man, this is great content, and I'm like, wait, but I'm hanging out with them. This is not content. This is relationship, and I'm like, oh dang. But then it's people that I want on the pod, so it's tough, man. It's tough. But dude, you how far on this have you actually listened? Because you've come up on this several times.
I really don't know. Last time, I think episode 20-something.
Do you know how many episodes are on here?
No.
71.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's insane.
Maybe I made it a little further then. I think I might have made it a little further.
Oh no, I wasn't saying that to
No. I feel like I was over 1/3 of the way.
Yeah. Problem is, it just keeps expanding. It never stops.
That's true.
I've been trying to think about if I'm gonna actually end season 1 at some point, just to give myself a pause. I think that might be necessary.
What episode? 100?
Dude, that's actually a great idea. That 100 days with Ken, 100 nights with Ken.
Ooh.
And then we get to episode 100, and I take a little sabbatical. Then we come back for season 2, which is one that would be good, because then season 2 would be. Oh, did you fumble?
Yeah, I died.
That's tragic. All right, so we're playing Fall Guys.
We're focused now. Are we done? Are we going to focus on the podcast?
No, we're going to continue playing Fall Guys.
Okay.
We're all about the grind.
Okay.
Tell the faithful listeners about Fall Guys.
Yeah. So Fall Guys is the game made for 5-year-olds that was then taken over by 20-year-olds and up, and you get irrationally angry about your little bean character, and you run around trying to not get eliminated, and it's infuriating.
Also, the bean character is adorable, and I'm very proud of the outfit that I made for mine.
It's true.
It's a fun game. I had no idea. I thought it was going to be like some intense, what is it, like first person shooter game.
Yeah.
And then I come to the house and it's these little like adorable, imagine the Among Us characters, but in cuter.
Yeah.
And I don't know, the Among Us.
Less sus.
That was for the culture right there.
Yeah.
Dude, so what? I don't know where to start. Okay.
For context, Kennedy gave me no direction about where we were going. He was just handed me the phone and said, "Hey, we're recording, so talk."
That's not exactly how it went down. You wanted this, but
I did, but like you did it.
I didn't really give you any prep. It's
No.
because I didn't really know where I wanted to go with you, but I figured, just like most of my nice natural relationships, we figure it out as we go along.
Yeah.
And the people want that. All 5 of them.
And I'm one of them.
You're one of them. Nah, I think we have like 16 established listeners, but the hard part, life in between is so much more popular. And one, we're combining pools of influence between me and Teve. And then, oh, dude, I know exactly what I want to talk to you about. Oh, man, the vibrate. I didn't think about the vibrating. Dude, it's vibrating on my phone. That's funny. Oh, man, I'm not locked in right now. Listeners, if you, Musers, I call them nightly Musers. You know this.
I know.
If you hear clicking and vibrating, that is the controller, because there wasn't a better way to hold this. And we're committed to the grind and to y'all.
Kennedy still got to catch his first dub.
That's facts. The illustrious victory. Dude, what is happening right now? Okay, so yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yesterday was my first night here, right?
Yeah.
Dude, yesterday. So we recorded, we made some big progress on the EP. But before that, you may have had one of the most interesting experiences of your life.
Oh.
So we will keep the names anonymous aside from, we'll keep the names anonymous. But we were at the alma mater, Charlotte Christian. And some of the wonderful Black mothers of Charlotte Christian were leaving. Oh, man, I just got eliminated. That's tragic. Did you?
I qualify. We can quit.
No, it's okay. I'll let you be great, because now the thing isn't going to vibrate anymore for me, which is
readjust later.
That's right. That's right. I'll support you. So you got kind of thrown into. Was that the first time that you were the only white guy in a setting with Black people?
I mean,
because there was 5 of us, right?
Not the first,
but one of the few.
One of the few, and I mean, definitely probably the only one where the topic of conversation had to do
with like social justice,
social awareness, that type of stuff. Yeah, probably.
What was that like? We have not debriefed this conversation.
Yeah, I hadn't really thought about it. I mean, it was definitely. Oh, this round's going to be tough with the current situation, but it was interesting.
Is this the speed circuit?
Yeah, the speed circuit.
Guys, I've never made it through the speed circuit, so Chase is going to be doing it for all of us right now.
It was kind of like, I mean, dang. It was interesting. I mean, for those of you listening, and if you can't tell by my voice, I am Caucasian.
Hot, man. Hot.
So I think it was I don't know, it's always interesting, and I think I've gotten a lot more aware based off listening to you throughout this podcast.
Oh wow, thanks.
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely caused me to think about things that I hadn't thought about before. I think at CCS it is, and at Hard I go to so for context, I go to a school in the middle of Arkansas. Searcy, Arkansas.
Ain't never heard of that.
No one's heard of it.
The only thing I know about Arkansas is Little Rock.
it was interesting to get kind of the perspective of things I hadn't realized. I mean, listening to this podcast throughout the summer, listening to Kennedy's. I mean,
Sultry.
huh?
Oh, nothing.
Oh,
I was gonna gas myself up, but I think you're gonna try to say my first name.
Tinayeshe?
Yeah,
Did I say it right?
you did. Tinayeshe, yeah.
Tinayeshe?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so listening to Tinayeshe's podcast, it's given me a lot more.
He's so proud of himself right now.
It's given me a lot of like just things I hadn't necessarily thought about before.
Also, for reference, you want it a little further away because there's no pop filter, so the P's and the T's, consonants will. So like right here, just
right.
Comfortable.
Yeah. And
like
so
like a nice beer.
and and so being in that setting last night just gave me even more just kind of just awareness, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I think with my background and just my background, yeah. I mean, it's harder for me to see that stuff, but I definitely think that it was helpful last night.
Sorry. I thought you held your own very well. I was very impressed at your fearlessness. Like, I didn't know what I mean, obviously we were there to record music. So
Yeah.
all of a sudden now we're pulled into we'll call it a black powwow, not black power, because I know that'll rub some feathers. But, I mean, yeah, they were, I guess, on the heels of talking about, what they hope for the school in terms of how we can grow in our like social acumen, almost like how we can be better. I mean, okay, some of the things that I referenced in Great Power, Great Responsibility. Great power, greater responsibility is how I view it. But like the consequences in Christian institutions are different than in the institutions of the world. Our rival, Providence Day. I will not say what we normally call them because that will be problematic, but you better not. So, anyway, I want to so bad. Okay, Providence Day. All of the schools in our conference had a Black at like social media page that was created, and one of the things we mentioned was that the issue is if the consequences are very different. At a secular institution, when you talk about social injustice and holding the institution accountable, that's all that happens. The institution is held accountable, or at least people are more aware of the injustices that take place there. But when it's a Christian institution, the institution gets held accountable and the faith that it ascribes to. And we get held to that standard in a way that other religions don't. And so when the Bible talks about like warnings to teachers, that's part of it, is like you will be held accountable for what you do and how you treat. And this is, at that point, I'm assuming the context is not teachers as in like math teacher. It's like teachers were rabbis back then. So these are people who are responsible, they're shepherds of people. Like your action, your care or lack thereof is going to directly impact and affect the person that you are in charge over. And so we were talking a lot about the implications of some of the things that we know have gone on, and also having a conversation about hope and how it's necessary to be hopeful moving forward, because a lot of times people will use the fact that racism, sexuality, all of these different hot topics today are heart issues. Sometimes we can use that as a crutch to say, well, I'm not going to do anything about it. There's nothing that can be done about it because it's a heart issue. It's not a political issue. It's not a legislative issue. It's hearts. We're dealing with hearts and minds here. So powers and principalities, therefore there's nothing I can do. Jesus just has to come back and that's the end for racism. No, like there's a reason why God gave us the Great Commission is because on this side of eternity, there's still stuff for us to do. And so what I loved about that conversation, to not completely reiterate an episode we already had, is that I got to see one, like, it was, I'm trying to do the math without naming people.
I think 6, including you.
Yeah. Yeah. Five black women talking about their experiences and like being passionate in front of Chase getting to see that, and also Chase interacting with them, I think was beautiful. And they were impressed by you too, which was really funny to watch. Like they weren't gonna filter themselves for you.
Yeah.
And
that's something I apprecited.
Yeah. And
sure.
It was really cool to watch. I'm sure dude, your Bluetooth is like a ghost, bro. What is that?
I don't know.
It's terrifying.
No, it's awful. It connected to my dad's phone while he was on a business call the other day.
Ooh, that's awkward.
Yeah. I'm in the middle of a workout. It goes, "Hello? Ryan? Hello?" And I just text my dad. I'm like, "Hey, you need to turn off your Bluetooth."
Life, technology. But yeah, man, I think one of my favorite things, and this is kind of moving on from that, but with our relationship, so I've been very open about my struggle with pornography on this podcast. And one of the things that, a pastor, Tim Ross, I talk about him a lot on here. He's outside of my pastor at my church, I would say Tim Ross is my favorite pastor right now.
Yeah.
Like I listen to his everything that he puts out. And one of the things he talks about in terms of like hypocrisy in the church is how he will see pastors talk about their present. Talk about their present and masquerade it as if it's their past. And like, ooh, yeah, I wish I said that smoother. So
it's pretty good.
Yeah, like, and that shook me because I talked about my struggle with pornography as if it were, I struggled with pornography, or I've struggled with pornography since I was 8. That is correct. Or like, it's easy to frame that as if it was like
a past struggle. As
opposed to a current, correct. And so after listening to that podcast, I had to like get on here and be like, I am doing everything I can to make this a part of my past. And that doesn't mean that in my present I struggle with it the same way that I did when I was in high school. But it does mean that like, hey, it's not gone. And I don't necessarily think it's ever going to fully go away in the sense that like another thing that he said was like, I'm not holier than other ministers or other people that serve. I just keep myself on a very short leash. And just that reality of like, we view deliverance as, I'm never going to watch porn again. I'm never going to have an unholy thought again. I'm never going to drink again or whatever. And it's like, maybe the reality is this is something that's always going to be a part of your life, quote unquote, Paul's thorn in his side that we don't know what it was, but it never seemingly went away. And it's something that you're just always going to have to be aware of because of the implications, because of the consequences. Anyway, my favorite thing about our relationship is that, yes, I guess mentored you for a while. It's funny because I don't, your dad said that to me when y'all visited my church that one time. And
was what that
my dad's church.
What did he say?
He mentioned that, like, I think he said to my dad that I was like,
yeah.
I can't remember how he framed it, but he was like, what Coach Ross was to me, I was to you. And like, I didn't feel that. Like, I was like, oh, I didn't realize that.
I'm gonna
want to be closer to me.
That, like, I feel awkward like talking with you, but like
but
also,
not looking at me.
Yeah, like it made me feel uncomfortable. So I'm moving here.
I understand. It's okay. There was a part of me, I don't know. I didn't know how to process that because I've always wanted, I think, to give back in that way, but I didn't realize that I was doing it.
Yeah.
And then you had mentioned something tonight where you had said, like, I think it was about Corman.
Yeah.
And
where
I was like,
I said, Corman was like the closest thing to you after like you graduated and he was still there.
dude, that almost made me cry. I'm not going to fret. If we weren't playing Fall Guys in that moment, that would have totally got me because I am a softie of softies. But anyway, my favorite thing about our relationship is that I don't view it that way in the sense that, like, yeah, I was your cell group leader in middle school. And then went off to college. You were a senior. But it was 2020, actually, when you were, like, right before I got my stress fracture or whatever, a strain in my foot, I had started running. We had been communicating a lot more.
That was fall of 2020, right?
Summer. It was summer 2020 because I had started interning or the residency at church.
But we talked a lot throughout my freshman year.
Yes, we did talk. But, like, there was a point. I was going through a really hard time.
Uh-huh.
And I was confiding in you about my struggles with pornography. And then I was like, all right, dude, every night I'm going to text you.
Oh, yeah.
I turned my phone off before I go to bed.
Yeah.
And I remember I absolutely hated every second of that, dude. Like, Chase, I don't think you understand.
So you were pissed at me the whole time?
No, I wasn't pissed at you, but I absolutely hated. Like, I was like, I'm supposed to be the mentor here. And I'm big brother, and now I'm going to little brother talking about, hey, dude, I need to be... Anyway, so, but what I realized later, which absolutely, like, was, you don't know any of this, maybe. I don't know if I ever told you this, but, like, to see... I've said this on here. To see our relationship shift from Kennedy, the guy that was my cell group leader, or Chase, the guy that I was leading when he was in cell group, to Chase, the adult who I'm confiding in and leaning on for a struggle that I've had since before I even knew he existed. Like, was one of the most humbling things, the most difficult things, but, like, one of the most beautiful things I've ever experienced in my life of, like, oh, like, this is doing life with somebody. Like, we were talking about the difference between, like, friendship and...
I was just thinking the difference in fatherhood and friendship. I was going to make that analogy about how similar it is, like, going from you being in a place of leadership to a point where it's like we're equals at this point.
Yeah. And, like, I genuinely felt like in that space, I was like, wow, Chase is walking alongside me. And, dude, that was one of the hardest years of my life. Like, I was on the edge of, like, leaving church because of, like, social issues and stuff, and feeling like the church wasn't bold enough to engage in that conversation in a way that I felt was biblical. I was on the heels of leaving, and I didn't, thank the Lord. And then, like, stuff with my, like, close friends and finding out that people don't believe in Jesus anymore. And I guess that didn't happen until 2021. But all that being said, like, 2020 was a tough year. And on that, with personal stuff as well, like, with me specifically, finding, like, even in counseling now, we were talking about earlier, like, I'm learning more about why, like, getting more into the roots of, like, my struggles, and being in that space where I didn't know the roots, but I was gasping for air, man. I felt like I was drowning. And you were right there, and it's like, man, like, I never thought that the person that would be extending his hand to help me get above water would be you.
Yeah.
And
well,
so,
I mean, let's not act like you didn't do anything for me. The first time that Kennedy, so I also struggle with pornography. I'll go ahead and put that out there.
You didn't have to.
Kennedy, no, but it's to make a point. Kennedy didn't ask me to say that, but that is a common struggle. But Kennedy was my track coach in high school.
I was.
And the first time that he asked me, because I remember him telling us in cell groups that was something he struggled with, and that was always something I respected about him, was that he was willing to say that in front of us, about letting sin have no hold over you in the sense of shame and being shameful of it. And so we're at track practice one day, and I'm sitting there, throwing the shot put, and no one else is there. He just looks at me. He's like, Chase, do you struggle with pornography? And I go, nope. Throw the shot put, walk over there, pick it up. And then I walk back over and I'm like, yeah, I lied to you. I definitely do. I
totally forgot about that day. You told me about that.
I've told you about
a couple
that
weeks
before,
ago.
yeah. But that was like, you were one of like the first people that like I opened up to about that. And like that's how we first formed our accountability group. In a way. So that was definitely,
Was it the Victory app that just decided it didn't want to work anymore?
It's off the App Store, dude.
Bro, they folded.
I had that streak on it too, and I lost it. I was so mad.
I'm kind of glad that it folded. I'm not going to lie.
You didn't like it?
I think I became too...
Relying on the number?
Yeah, like the number, was all that mattered. So every time I messed up, seeing it go back to zero was like the most demoralizing thing on the planet.
Seeing that bar fill up where it's like how close you were to your record.
And it gave like the percentage too. It was like, you're this far away.
It was helpful, but in one sense, like it was helpful. And then in the other sense, it was like, dude, I'm not even close to the goal. Like, I'm not even close to like beating my record. Why should I try? And I feel like at that point, I'm not doing it for the right reasons.
Bro, dude, that's a word right there. Man, I think so. This past year, so honestly, that encounter that we had in 2020 was what made our accountability group possible now. I was in the throes of, not passion, I guess, but the throes of sin. And I got tired, and I was like, you know what? Like, I don't want to do confessionals anymore. Like, I don't want to just be like, hey, guys, I masturbated. Hey, guys, I watched porn. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And I was so tired of, like, every quote-unquote accountability, like, looking that way. Coach Ross was the only person the only authority figure in my life that it wasn't that way. Like I did confess to him, but like he checked in on me, and it wasn't like, hey, did you watch porn? Like he genuinely was like, hey, like, how are you doing? Like, we haven't talked in a few days. Like, how are you? And like, I would confess like when I did or not, but like he was the first person that said like, hey man, if you run away from porn and that's all you do, like, that's great. But if you're not running towards anything, like, you're gonna burn out.
Yeah.
And he was the one that, like, that was the revolutionary thing for me of like, okay, I have to run towards Jesus and not just away from porn, and also run towards accountability. And so with you and the boys, we'll keep them separate because they have not said that they want to be named.
I'm glad you reminded me, because I was about to start dropping names on accident.
Like Nemo was good.
I kind of forgot that we were on a podcast. I was gonna just start start chucking them out there.
Facts. Hey, anonymity is key. Unless they say that I can name. Was that fire always on?
Yeah, no,
That's interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I lost my train of thought. Oh, the accountability thing. Like, it was, I don't know, bro. Like, when I tell you that, like, it has been life-changing, in the sense that I've never felt in my, what has it been? I'm 23. Dang. I always say 8, but like it's like give or take 8. So plus minus, what is that? 15 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, for the first time in plus or minus give or take 15 years, I never thought. Yes, I thought like I had to come to the realization that I thought that this was going to be a part of my life for like a long time. You can yawn. It's okay. This is the nightly Muse. I don't want to hide that this is 3:51.
No, it's like I'm used to like listening to your voice while I'm out pressure washing.
Oh,
It's
so
like,
I'm causing you to slumber.
it's like it's just kind of like it's relaxing. It's like
I've
it's
been
like,
told that my voice is soothing.
Yeah, no, it just like like it's like I'm starting to like see
By some
sheep
people.
hopping over a fence.
I feel that. So, yeah, for the first time in give or take 15 years, like I had come to the realization that this was going to probably be like a lifelong struggle of sorts. But that always meant like, it was like it was almost like I was accepting defeat when I would think about it that way.
Yeah.
And not like, no, this is just something you're going to have to be on guard and fight forever. And like, one is active, one is passive.
Yeah.
And with you guys, when y'all accepted, because I asked all of y'all, actually, no, I asked one individually, and then I just kind of created the group message because I was.
Was it me that you asked individually? Was that me?
It's okay. We'll edit that out.
Yo, that's I could not have my own podcast.
It's okay. It was the other, and then I made the group message with you on Homeboy, and so it's okay. This is a very easy edit.
Okay. All right.
And so when we made the group message, you and Homeboy were like, "Oh yeah, absolutely," and y'all like swooped in and were amazing with our friend, and your new friend really, and so it was really cool to see that. And then for the first time, I felt like, oh, like this is what the other side of the struggle looks like. This is what freedom feels like. It's not necessarily that I'm never going to mess up again. Hopefully I won't. But it is like I'm being more vulnerable than I've ever been. And somebody said that vulnerability, it's only vulnerable if it comes at a cost to you. Like, if, like, for instance, me talking about my struggle with, us talking about our struggle with pornography might not come at a cost to us anymore.
Yeah.
So, like, while it is deep to say, or, like, admirable, or, like, open to say it, somebody else would be like, oh, absolutely not, because it comes at a deeper cost to them. So it'd be way more vulnerable for somebody else to say that than us. But like today at my small group that I was at, one of the guys in it asked me, I said that I went to counseling today. And then they said, what were you working on? And I was like, oh.
That's personal.
Was
this in front of everyone?
Yeah, but like our small group like is committed to like full openness, but also full confidentiality. So like I cannot say what, I can only say what I said. I can't say what anybody else has said in there. And so like to the point where I try not to even say who's in it.
Yeah.
I only say who the leaders are. But anyway, the leader asked me that, and I remember thinking that was the first time somebody had asked me the right question that made me feel like, oh crap, like I was like stammering and everything. I was like, oh, do I really want to say what I was working on? Because it was about the not feeling attractive and all that stuff. And I was like, dang, like I don't want to tell them that that's what I'm struggling with right now.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, this is what vulnerability feels like.
Yeah.
I haven't felt this in a really long time because I'm usually very open with people. And so like, I know that my surface level is really deep for other people. And like my deep is somebody else's Mariana Trench. And so I'm like, oh dang, this is my Mariana Trench, right?
Yeah.
It was very interesting. Anyway, where I was going with that, to be vulnerable with people like you and the rest of the gang has been a real gift, because I feel like even in how we are able to encourage each other and like talk about my excursions in Daytona, and I have not fully explained what happened there. I said what happens in Daytona stays in Daytona, unless you're personally in my life and want to ask. But anyway, it wasn't anything that crazy, y'all. But anyway, so I guess they know that that's something that would be a little vulnerable for me to share on the pod, because I'm not sharing it. But anyway, like to be able to like to ask hard questions, and then I've always, you haven't gotten to this episode yet, but I mentioned you and I said one time I asked somebody how their day was, and then I said why, and you were like, why you gotta be so poetic all the time?
No, I think I said, why can't my day just be good just because it was good? Why does there have to be a reason?
Yes. And so then we like dug there, but it's like, okay, these are the conversations I want to have with people, and the fact that we can like push back and really dig, and also give each other some space sometimes, and like all of that to me is like, this is what doing life with each other is. And like I dream about like, this is like for the one that didn't go to high school with us.
Yeah.
Like imagine years down the line, hey guys, I'm getting married. I know I haven't like actually met you guys yet, but we've been talking for 5 years now.
Yeah.
Like I was wondering if y'all could be my groomsmen. Like that would be absolutely
That'd be
like
crazy.
talk about making me cry. Oh my gosh. Cuz like y'all are going to be mine. But like
You'll be one of my groomsmen. We'll see about our friend from high school. You know,
facts.
he's kind of on the outs right now. You know, not that he'll know because he won't listen to the podcast.
That's crazy. He might be a faithful listener. Who knows? Probably not though.
No, he's too busy with his future wife.
Oh man, we love you. So, I think I'm notorious about dreaming about stuff like that, but I think it would be so cool. Like we have no idea what the fruit of this is going to be 10, 20 years. And even the conversations we had tonight, the conversations that we have over this group message, like what that's going to mean for us in our marriages or us in our like families, that we can do that. And I'm just like, man, like it's a gift to do life with you.
Oh.
And I'm sad that you're going to be going to Arkansas next week.
Thanks, Kennedy.
But we're hanging.
This weekend. It's been long overdue.
It's long overdue. I haven't been back in the house since the Bible study days back in high school, bro. When you'd invite me over.
We haven't done those since my junior year.
Dude, it was a long time ago. Because I'd come from like campus and play basketball with y'all and all that stuff. But yeah, man. There was no episode yesterday, but this will probably be a 2-parter, so it'll make up for. Nah, forget that. We're just not. I'm at this point, y'all. I'm gonna try to commit to the nightly, but at this point, it's like you reach for the moon or you reach for the stars. You land on the moon.
I thought it was
shoot for the stars.
Nah, I thought it was you shoot for the sky, and if you miss, you land among the stars.
I like that too.
Okay.
That works. I don't know if I've ever heard that one, but I thought it was like if you reach for the stars, you land on the moon.
I always thought it was something about landing in the stars because you're a star.
Oh. Do you are what you say you are? A superstar. All right, I'm enough. Y'all have heard enough of me singing a cappella on this pod.
Until his EP comes out. It's fire, guys. Give it a listen.
Wow. Dude, Chase is going to be my MC, bro. He's my hype man for life. But yeah, man, it's a gift to do life with you. And you're, I guess, the third interview. No.
I think you've had more than that.
Teve. I had the marriage one.
Oh, well, are you saying like strictly interview, or are you saying like...
You're my third interview, fourth guest.
Okay.
Yeah. And, well, sixth person, because my sisters have made appearances on the pod.
Okay.
But you are my, fourth person that's actually been on an entire episode.
Stop.
Aw, shucks. So yeah, man, it's gonna be a good time. I'm excited. Yes, the EP is coming. It's going well. But yeah, we're having brother time before he goes back to Cersei in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, we were originally supposed to go to sleep at 2, and then
it was actually 1:30.
1:30, and then we started having too good of conversation, and now it's 4:00.
Dude, and this is a 40-minute episode right here.
Nah, but you got to edit some of it out because
It's okay.
No, but like I wasn't making sense. I was stuttering there for a while I was trying to do that speed circuit.
I'll fix some of it.
Probably 5 minutes of that.
It's okay. 35 minutes. It's okay. It's a great episode. Chase, thank you for accepting me wherever I was, because I was a sophomore in high school when I started.
That's crazy.
That's
actually crazy to think about.
Bro, right? That was 10 years ago.
More than that.
Nah, because sophomore year for me would have been 2013. 2014.
No.
Yeah, because 14, 15 was my junior year. 15, 16 was my senior year. So 13, 14.
So 9 years?
Yeah.
That's
9
wild.
years ago.
Dang.
It'll be a decade next year.
By the way, I'm sure he'll edit this out, but I've talked to Kennedy before breaking up with every single one of my girlfriends. I don't know why. I just kind of realized that you should like edit that out.
So am I the problem?
The catalyst.
I'm the catalyst.
Not actually. You're someone that I trust with. I trust to go with. I trust your advice.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
You should.
Has my advice always been to break up with them?
No, I just, I kind of take it in.
You just let me know what's happening.
Yeah, I let you know what's happening. You give me your feedback, and then I make a decision,
That's fair. I mean, that doesn't have to be edited out. It's not like your exes listen to this.
It's probably fair. Shout out to
my exes. Oh, my exes live in Texas.
None of my exes.
Is that how that goes?
Yeah.
Right. None of his exes live in Texas. Country music ain't my thing, but
it's all good. I like it.
You do?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. My country accent's not very good either.
No.
It needs some work. It's not horrible though.
It's like hillbilly.
Hillbilly. So I'm more hillbilly than country.
Yeah. There's a difference.
So
Country's
it's like
more classy.
More moonshine right now.
Yeah.
So how do I get classier? What do I have to add? Some I do declare. Some more deep south?
No, it's like you gotta get more like y'alls.
Y'all,
that southern drawl.
That southern drawl. Is it too sultry? What is it right now that I gotta fix? Is it getting better or worse?
No, it's getting worse.
It's getting worse?
It's getting a lot. Yeah.
Dang, that's tough. Well, y'all know I'm not white, so I guess.
What in tarnation's going on out here?
So that is classier than mine.
No, that was hillbilly.
That was more hillbilly.
What does tarnation mean?
What in tarnation?
What in tarnation?
I don't know.
It's like, maybe, does it have to do with like Tar Heels, like North Carolina, tarnation?
Tarnation? I have no idea.
I don't know.
Wow, we have taken a turn.
Yep.
Thank you for accepting me in my whatever state I was in as a sophomore. Thinking that I actually had wisdom to impart, and I guess some of it landed.
Well, you built relationships.
Thanks, man. I was late every Wednesday, too.
Well,
Graham was the one that was going to be on time because he had the donuts.
He did have the donuts.
I just showed up.
Yeah.
I gave the word sometimes.
I don't have that relationship with Graham. I got that relationship with you.
Oh, wow. We still love you, Graham. Appreciate the homecoming or prom locations.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
Big plus.
For sure.
Also, rest in peace to his grandpa.
Dang.
But anyway, thank you for that, and thank you for sticking around because I needed you to lean on.
Oh.
And you never
Lean
know.
on me.
Facts. Sing it, Chase.
When you're not strong.
There you go.
I'll be your friend.
I'll help you. Yes, Lord.
I'll help you carry on.
Carry on, brother. Yes, sir.
It won't be long
Till I'm gonna
need
somebody, Jesus.
somebody to lean on.
That's-
I'm no Tinayeshe.
That was wonderful. That was wonderful.
I try.
Man, hearts are breaking right now.
I'm sure. Women weeping.
Women weeping. Men's heart becoming a little less hard, you know. But yeah, man, I'm so thankful for our friendship, and I'm excited for the opportunity to look back years from now and tell me, dude, that Bluetooth is a bot. What does that even mean? A bot?
It's like a NPC. Like you live life on autopilot. You don't do anything. You don't like you follow your regular schedule and you don't do anything special. It's actually a very detrimental insult when you actually start to think about it.
Dang, that's tough. Well, it's something. I don't know if it's a bot, but it's something.
Amazon taking over.
They're listening. I look forward to being able to, like, you know, cup of whiskey in hand.
Yeah.
Nice little cocktail. I mean, maybe some pina coladas on the beach, bros trip, or whatever we do. And, like, you know, the little Prestons and the little Manikas are running around. And we're just, you know, thinking about nights like tonight and seeing, like, man, like, we did good. So thank you for choosing to fight with me. And I'm always going to fight with you, brother. I love you, man. Oh, we said it at the same time. That was so precious. Shout out Low Fly. This is the Nightly Muse. I'm your host, Tinayeshe, and this is our guest,
Chase Preston.
and we're out.